Yeah. Hello, everybody. It's me. It's Andy. Look who we got back here for this special Moonbase 2, because we're not getting back to the news just yet. 3 weeks of not proper news. Hello, Mikey. You're back. Oh, hang on. I'll need to sort out your bloody Discord. No, shush. No talkie from you. Which one's the Discord one? This one?
Uh-huh.
There we go. I got you.
Yeah.
I had to switch it over to Gruff and the Fluff and Hammer a couple of days ago.
Should be. Yeah.
So that would be why you weren't sounding. But now I've switched it to you, so now we can hear your beautiful, dulcet little Irish tones.
The mistake you're making is Gruff's not people.
Well, then it's true. I've never thought of him as a person, to be honest. Just an amalgamation of parts, like some kind of abomination, if you would. You came back from.
Let's be honest. He's just a dick. He's just a dick.
I love Gruff. He is delightful.
He's Gruff.
Delightful. Yeah, we're gonna have you talk about your experiences over, like, what was it, 2 weeks ago at this point now? Do you remember everything?
Yeah. I remember vague truths.
Truths? Are they your truths, Mikey? Or are they actual truths?
Well, we'll find out.
This is my truth. I have heard stories about you, so that's fun.
That's usually true. I mean, I like causing trouble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, certainly. Yeah. Specifically at your panel, let's just say. But we'll get to that, I suppose. Should we get straight into the poopcast, Mikey? Should we get our fist all the way inside of that cow and feel its insides and talk about the consistency of its organs?
Sometimes I think you need a script.
A script? Why a script?
Because that would stop this.
No, why? This is fine. Why isn't this okay?
I mean,
this is
so many reasons.
This is what I do when I stream. Daddy is in chat. Yeah. Daddy should know. Daddy's been here before.
I'm just saying, like, it would solve so many problems.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be fine. It would be dull if I was normal. Like, look at all of the HoloLive girls. How many of them are normal? How many, Mikey? Name one. Name one that isn't Aki Rose, or whatever her name is, the first one.
I was going to say, she's not normal. Sora's not normal. Sora's as weird as any of them.
She's one of the... compared to a lot of them, I'd say she's more normal.
That's setting a low bar.
No, yeah, but here we go. This is my point.
I will say, like, watching the new ones, I'm not sure what I make of the new gen for it, just because three of them are fairly fun, but the dog girls is actually the ones that put me off because they feel the most performative.
Yes, I know that some people really want that out of the VTubers, because some of them, most VTubers don't do the kayfabe. These two are fully kayfabing, which is fine.
Yep. It's just not. So I'm there for, like, hi, I'm just comfortable by the fact you can't see my face, and therefore I'm going to be my normal insane self. I'm not really there, which is one of the things like Iron Mouse or Miko or something like that. I'm not really into the hi, I'm talking in this high pitched voice because I'm trying to be the weird anime fantasy you've always had. I outgrew that phase when I was like 22.
That's fair. That's fair. Nessa seems to be the one that's fun, because there was a stream between her and Bay, and Bay was basically, I'm very young in comparison to you, because do you watch My Little Pony? No, I never saw My Little Pony. And she kept going through all these 80s and 90s references, and Bay just had no idea. And I was like, oh no.
Hang on. My Little Pony came out like within Bay's lifetime.
Yeah, but she meant, like, Nessa. I think the Nessa lady meant old school ponies, like Choose Your Pony. Not like current My Little Pony, that kind of goo.
I'm just thinking, like, in fact, Bay would probably have been, like, perfect age for Friendship is Magic.
I don't know. I don't know what happens down in Australia. Australia's a very strange place. It's like French Canada. Yeah. There's no...
The only Canada is French Canada.
It's the only Canada. I hope you understand.
In the land.
Oh, please understand. Daddy says, I've had the collector twice in a span of 10 minutes. Gonna cry. Daddy's playing Darkest Dungeon at the moment, so I'm sure he's having a good time. I've been streaming that recently. Have you played Darkest Dungeon, Mikey?
Nope. No, I have not.
It's fun. It's very fun.
Is it good?
I love it. I'm having a great old time.
Mm.
Little RPG kind of rolling the dice. Will everything go wrong? Maybe. Are you super unlucky this day? Maybe. I don't know. Should we start pooping, Mikey? Should we get that poop and get that rolling down the hill?
Yes? Okay.
All right. I will begin the music, and then you will begin the podcast. Okay, here we go. Music time.
Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Decayed Andy, and we are still not doing a normal Moonbase 2 podcast. There is actually news out this week, but this was obviously planned for last week, and then complications happened. So now this week, we get to have young Mikey back, and he's going to tell us all about TFNation 2023. Hello, Mikey. Pretty Mikey. Delicious Mikey. Sensual Mikey. Hi. How's it going?
Oh. He went too far.
I know. Oh, I could.
He was going far enough, and then he went too far.
I could have gone further.
Oh, I know you could have, but that doesn't mean you didn't go too far.
I'll remember that for next time. I'll remember to go further, to push the boundaries, to make you feel very uncomfortable. How's it going? You doing well?
I'm good. No complaints. How are you?
Yeah, same as usual, I'd say. We've had an interesting couple of weeks on Moonbase 2. We were going through catalogues, the old catalogues, talking about the old G1 toys with Big Swing and D and George. So that was fun. That was an interesting little ditty, which we will get back onto. It's the backup podcast, basically, for when there's no news. And it's like, oh, yeah, we can talk about some G1 toys and then proceed. The idea will be to proceed through all of the generations of Transformer toys. So thankfully, there is a long breadth of toys. The problem is there's not a long breadth of toy catalogs, unfortunately. They kind of stop at some point, which is kind of sad, I think. I like those little catalogs. But Mikey.
Yeah?
TFNation 2023, Birmingham Metropole. What was up with that? How did that go? It's your first TFNation in like 10,000 years. And now your plans start to conquer Earth as you come out of your little dustbin.
Yes, they kept on trying to shove me back in. It was really weird, to be honest.
Why did you have the cone bikini, though? That's the real question.
Well, you gotta, if you're gonna commit, Andy.
Well, I guess. When you love Madonna so much, you can't quit her.
Well, listen, we all want to be Madonna.
Do we have, I'm not one to talk about, have you seen how they look, but have you seen how Madonna looks? Oh boy.
I have the Madonna in my heart.
Yeah, that's not the one that exists these days, unfortunately. Poor Madonna's ruined herself with plastic surgery. It's a real shame. It's a real shame.
In my heart.
I don't look much better, but I didn't have to spend a lot of plastic surgery money to look
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Oh, yeah, I remember that movie. Evita, wasn't it, or something like that? Yeah. Was there Antonio Banderas in it as well? Was it just, who was the dude?
I don't remember, to be honest.
No, me neither. Yeah. But TFNation, Mikey. Tell us about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
First TFNation in 4 or 5 years.
How many days were you there for? Was it 3 days, 4 days?
I showed up on Thursday. I headed away on Sunday evening. Would have stayed longer, but had to get away.
That's all you could tolerate. You couldn't be with them any longer. Tolerate.
Yeah, so I was there for about almost 4 full days. I got to do the whole event. Did a panel there. I'll get to that later on. It was a busy one. I made a point to try to go as much as I could this time around. Usually I wouldn't really do a lot of the panels or whatnot, but I hadn't been involved in so long. I wanted to kind of reconnect with the experience. And plus I realized that most of the people I know are running the fucking thing, so you never see them until the evening anyway.
True.
Although I did have a lot of sit downs and have some nice chats with people. It was for me a 4-day event. For some people it was 5 days. For some people it was a whole week. Some people are still having one. Some people won't leave the Hilton. They're just sitting there in the hall saying they'll be back.
See, if it's Billy, I'm not sure if that's a false statement or not, because he might be there actually planning stuff for next year. I don't know.
I know Confuzzled, which was on the week before, 2 weeks before, was already planning things like the next week.
What's
like
that?
they were having a convergent convention organizer meeting while we were having the convention. Confuzzled is, I believe, the UK's largest furry convention.
Oh my god!
Which was there a couple of weeks before us, I think, and there were stickers all over all the signs. But apparently it was very fun. I think I met someone who was at Boat, and they said, "Yeah, it was fun." I did look at the schedule.
Was there just cum on the walls and just everywhere that was being scraped off still?
I was curious, so I looked at the schedule, and there were all-day events, but there were definitely like a leaning towards like late-night events. Also, like, watch some of the. I was just curious, so I watched some of the videos, and just like how, considering the heat, I feel so sorry for anyone who went in full gear. That you must have died inside there. You must have died inside there. But yeah, like, who was it who said that? Yeah, they saw the setup, and it was like you had the family-friendly half of the convention hall, and then the unfamily-friendly half, and basically there was just a barrier. So it was like you'd have people going around on one side, which is like, oh, art prints and TV stuff, and My Little Pony, and taking their kids around, and there'd just be this hard barrier, and on the other side it would just be like sex toys, sex fursuits. Do not bring your child here. The child may not pass.
Oh, that's is this something that you heard about, or did you get to see it firsthand?
No, it had been over for a couple of weeks. I just like heard about it.
I kind of would have liked you to have like been there for like a quick day just to observe it, just to be like, this is a thing that I've never seen before. Okay.
Yeah, they'd be very awkward if they just turned around and saw me sitting in the corner with a cup of tea going, continue.
You David Attenborough them, and now we see the humble furry mating.
Single loud slurp of tea.
From the furry, from you.
From me, just like awkwardly loud. Oh, don't mind me.
Well, I'm glad that they had a barrier up. Apparently, they had a barrier up to separate the over 18 area. That's good.
I think that was appropriate because, you know, you should probably have some sort of ID to get across there.
Yes.
Just for the old common sense now.
Okay, well that's fun. That's fun.
You know, no quilters this time around, no lingerie models. There was a salsa group who looked really uncomfortable.
I hear the dancing group that has been there previous years has the business has just gone under, so there's not going to be any more dancers now. No dancing.
There was one set of people going around like full gear, so I think there was still something small going on, but
not to the extent that it was before. Clearly, I'm guessing.
But yeah, so it was a pretty lively event. I think it was the biggest one yet, because like the end of it, you know, the Saturday night event. When a few years ago there'd be tables set up for that. They had to do just rows of chairs because they couldn't fit tables in.
Right.
So it was pretty big.
Oh yeah, because this would have probably been a lot bigger than previous years for you. Because how long did you say it'd been since you last went?
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Yeah, it did get progressively bigger as time went on. I can't remember if it's bigger than the last one I went to. I think it was probably maybe it was a little bigger from what I hear from people. I'm not sure.
Things have gone down well though. A lot of good media, got good talk online and everything else about it, so that's positive to hear.
Yes, I hear the most new people that have ever been to TFNation, so lots of newbies got in and got to experience it. Though I did hear that it seems like a lot of our, like you said, a lot of our crew wasn't there, and it seems like, again, from what I hear, and you can confirm with this, that a lot of the new people that went weren't there for the social aspect. They were there for the convention, and then they kind of left because apparently, you know, like they weren't hearing about the convention through. So they weren't hearing it through like forums or podcasts and stuff like that. They were hearing it through social media.
There were, I would say, like there was definitely less socializing in the pub than there were previous years. I did see a lot of people like pass through. Who I think there was a lot of people treating it kind of like an anime convention.
Right, yeah.
Go there, buy the merch, get your thing signed, go home.
Yeah.
But I met plenty of people I knew. Like, I can think of 3 or 4 major faces who weren't there, and I've talked to them all since, and they've said they were hoping to go last year and they weren't able to, or this year they weren't able to, so they're booking in for next year. So like I saw Thew was there, McFeely, and that crowd was all there.
It sounds like Thew had a rough time.
Briefly, but I didn't want to do too much because like the guy is basically a celebrity there now, and he just gets swamped.
Yeah.
McFeely it was hilarious to see people awkwardly go up to Chris McFeely and go like, hi, and I was just like, this is just a tall man, a tall, insignificant man.
Well, I mean, he is tall, so he is very tall, so there could be a reason why also people were intimidated, because McFeely is very tall.
He is, and like everyone else was going on talking about the basics. I just cornered and said, so how the fuck did you pull off the Digimon Blu-ray? Because what the fuck, man? How are you getting an entire new dub with the original cast? What the fuck?
And what did he say?
He told me many secrets. You shall hear none of them. Many dark and troubling secrets. So much murder. So many blood rituals. But yeah, so basically, so got there on Thursday. I wasn't on the Thursday. I was in a different hotel, so I
which one?
Basically Premier Inn. So I basically just hung around a bit, met Dave, met a few people. I was there as people started coming in, dropped off my bag, came back, and started to see a bit more of the social thing. Some of the guests showed up, and they were kind of milling around. But yeah, it was kind of good vibes. Like you could tell, like Sobolov had been there before, so he was quite happy to come down. Whereas Sublu was a lot more managed than most guests would have been. Like there was an entirely separate signing area for Sublu. She didn't really have a table the way the other guests did.
I guess that makes sense. It's Sublu, right? She's fairly importante. She was a get. She was a get. Yeah.
So, but like it was a bit more of that like big celebrity vibe than you usually get.
Yeah.
Like even like Steve Blum didn't have that. Steve Blum just disappeared because he thought he wasn't able to go down to the pub, and it was just like, no, you can go down and have a drink. Apparently there was a bit of food poisoning, but also the prices at the Hilton have gone completely ludicrous.
Well, they would have done. COVID kind of hit the hotels like super hard, so it's not a real surprise.
But $5 for a can of Coke is a bit much.
I mean, it was already expensive, so when you put on the expenditures of like COVID on top of it, I'm not surprised. Yeah. But I would agree, like £19 for a fish sandwich was a bit extreme.
I did laugh at the number of people who were ordering food, and at one point they just gave up and said, like, well, you're eating it now, but don't do it again.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Just like
for people who've already gone to TF Nation, you should know better. You should know better. If you're new to TF Nation and you hadn't been to the Hilton before and you didn't know how much the price was for food and you were just hungry, you now know never do it again. Never.
Yeah. Nah.
Bring pot noodles with you instead. You'll save so much money.
Sorensen showed up on Thursday, had a quick chat with him.
The Demon Lord Sorensen, Jim Sorensen.
The Demon Lord Sorensen, whose first reaction was like, I haven't seen you in years. And just like, I've been here in years, Jim.
You'd be right, Jim.
If you'd seen me, I would be worried. So yeah, Thursday was just kind of catching up with a few people. I did a bit more, like I was in the Hilton for the rest of the time, so I did a bit more catching up on the Friday morning. It's always funny to me to just sit there quietly, like relax, and then see like all the people who are new to the con or who are new to the TF Nation experience who are just like so shy. Like it's so cute. Oh, you're all adorable. That's not patronizing at all. But
is this just like you remembering what it was like to be young, Mikey?
I remembered it was like that first year, where Matt like carrying me around and pointing me at people, say, "Introduce yourself." Matt, if you're listening, Mikey. I know that that's what you did. So yeah, the event kicked off on Friday. No sales or anything on Friday. No kind of actual like selling. Just the fan panels with a couple of official ones as well. So what was there? We met everyone. The first one was the noon one. It was the Build a Mech History of Gunpla one, which was by they said her name's it's on here, AB Silvera, but she said her name like 15 times. And Erica Walsh. Erica was hilarious. Erica just sat there with a fucking cane and did not give a shit. Like, Silvera was going around like giving the panel, and just like Erica in the corner, I'm going to make a snarky comment.
All right.
I'm going to continue making a snarky comment, although Silvera did dab several times, and I felt ashamed for her. Because she did point out, like, I'm in my 40s.
No.
Just like, yeah, but yeah, you're in your 40s. Don't
dabbing.
dab.
No one dabs now. The kids do not dab now. Dabbing was like a thing like 5 years ago or something.
Dabbing was something the elderly do, as demonstrated by the fact this 40-year-old woman was doing it. But no, they were both really good. Quite an in-depth overview. Like, a lot of stuff I knew, but I was interested to see what kind of way you'd present it to people who aren't familiar.
What was the panel about? Was it just talking about the history of Gundam, or was it talking about model kits? Like, what aspect was it kind of going
focusing
over?
on the model kits,
right.
So the history of like how the kits got off, pointing out things that a lot of people don't want to admit, like the original Gundam show wasn't exactly a huge success. It was Zeta. It was the kits in Zeta that made sure Gundam became a thing.
Yeah.
The original show, not that well loved.
No.
For the time. Kind of retroactively considered a classic. I kind of agree with the original opinion. I think it's a bit of a mess.
I like aspects of it. I think there are aspects of it that are really good. But
I think it laid groundwork. I think it laid groundwork that other shows did better. But
it also did set up the magic, to be fair, of Gundam.
Yeah, magic, raw, unadulterated magic.
Did they say that on the panel? Did they say that it was magic?
I was hoping there'd be questions. We didn't. They got like up to the wire with time, and I was just like, so real robots. What's with all the bullshit?
So there's like, I can think of one series of Gundam where there isn't bullshit magic. Mostly, I think, but most of it was 8th Mobile Suit Team. I don't think there's bullshit magic. No.
But it's got new types.
In 8th Mobile Suit Team?
Yeah. Or at least it's
who's the new type in 8th Mobile Suit?
I don't remember, but I'm sure there's one. Because there's one suit there that's a new type suit. I remember that.
It must have been the enemies, because I'm pretty sure all of the heroes were just like normal peoples.
Well, they were just in like the ground Gundams or something, weren't they?
They were the best.
But technically still New Century, so magic. The magic just wasn't around.
Yeah, magic was there. It just wasn't included in that series.
Magic was in space.
Yeah.
Where their souls were your bodies got lighter, so your souls rose up, and then that gave you psychic powers.
And time travel, eventually.
And machine possession.
Maybe, yeah, super sentient robots. So fucking Jesus.
Let's see. Super sentient robots, psychic powers, time travel. I'm pretty sure someone did healing, being a ghost.
I think all they had to do in earlier Gundam shows were they had to establish what new types could and couldn't do, and what they never. I think that's an issue with the new type. They didn't ever ground them. They just kind of left them as this unanswered mythical thing. Almost like so a writer could do anything that they wanted, hence the time travel nonsense that we got later on. Because as a writer, I'm not a writer, but I would have made sure, like when I made new types, I would have maybe stated somewhere, and I don't know why, I'd be like, cannot travel through time because it's stupid.
Does not reverse the causality.
No, because it would break time itself. Never rely on time travel in your stories.
Yeah,
generally.
Well, it was the late 70s rather. Like the
time travel stuff was like the recent stuff.
Unicorn. Oh yeah, the time travel was the Unicorn.
Yeah,
Unicorn has plenty of problems.
Oh yeah, I still like Unicorn, but yeah, again, it's most of the issues I ever have with Gundam come down to. Whenever they talk about new type stuff, my eyes glaze over and I just stop understanding.
New type stuff I'm fine with. It's that for me, it's like they just keep repeating the same plot points over and 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 over. It's like Ultraman. That's the thing that bugs me when like a show is so locked in and it's like we need to reference the thing that happened in the original Gundam in some way, shape, or form. Like, hey, Wing Zero, why do you exist? New types. Oh, okay. Solar space, new types. Okay.
That's why G Gundam's
we don't
cool.
want to say. Well, G Gundam is cool, and that's why they're making kits of it premium Bandai, because they hate me specifically.
No, I think they're making them premium because they're not popular enough. That's why.
It literally saved Gundam.
Yep, doesn't matter though.
Gundam would not have made it to today if it wasn't for G Gundam, and anyone who denies that, it was in the panel. Anyone who denies that was not paying attention.
No, but that doesn't mean it's popular, unfortunately. Otherwise, they would release it.
It literally was. It literally was so popular they made another show.
If the figures were so popular, then they would be released normally, like all of the Wing figures.
Yeah, but Wing's weird. Wing's weird because it's not popular in Japan, but it's popular globally.
I'm just saying, if G Gundam
Wing
was really popular with all markets, they would have made those figures not premium Bandai. They're premium Bandai because they've got fancy molding, and it's clearly for a specific market.
You do say that, but Crossbone's basically popular across the board, and 85% of their kits are premium.
Are they popular across the board?
Yeah, it is the most popular show. It's the most popular Gundam that never had a show.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably why they wouldn't do it, though, because it hasn't had a show. So it is popular, but it's probably not popular with everybody outside of like...
It's popular, not populist, would be the way I'd put it.
Yeah, that's fine. But I still think that doesn't change the fact that G Gundam is there for a reason, and that's why Crossbones is there for a reason. Crossbones got an anime, and it was well done. You'd probably see its kits not be P Bandai.
I'm predicting, by the way, if they do an anime now, it will be bad.
Oh, actually,
it will be a bad adaptation.
The only G Gundam kits that weren't premium Bandai were the main characters.
Well, it was God and...
It was Shining, God, Noble, and Master. That's it. The main ones. None of the Shuffle Alliance, because they're the side characters, so fuck them, basically.
Yeah. Devil got one as well, but that was many moons ago.
Yeah, that was like one of the first. Well, you can say all of them got a kit then at that point. Because everyone...
Devil got one. Devil got one in the like early modern high grades, I think.
No.
Did it?
No.
I don't remember.
It had an original kit.
You're talking like 2004 range.
It had an original kit, but it never got one after that.
Okay. But yeah, anyway.
Good in the panel.
So yeah.
It was good. You enjoyed
Silveria and Erica, they did a good job. It was entertaining. After that came Carnage in C minor. This was an interesting one. So there's been this fan stop motion thing that's been going on for years. I've never watched it. Just doesn't look like my thing. It has that kind of overwrought, written by a fan vibe to it, which is not insulting. It's just like when things are done by fans, they have a certain tone if that fan is not an experienced writer.
Okay.
It just is. That's like, the dialogue's always just that little bit too verbose. The delivery's always that little bit too like what's the phrase I'm looking for? Trying to sound a bit overwrought. Like, I've just seen 1,000 fan things over the years, and they all kind of, most of them, not all, 90% of them fall into that range of just like, this is a talented fan who is very good at the stop motion, and I'm very happy for them at that side of things. But yeah, it's a stop motion thing by, what was it? Joe Powell. I don't know what his YouTube is, but it's over there on YouTube. But it was about developing music, original music and soundtracks for these things. So he's got two composers, one named Diane Storm and one named Julia Hanshine, who also did, she did a pretty good metal-y pop, kind of pop rock set on the Saturday evening. She's a talented lady. A lot of like pop culture cover songs.
Was it the guitar lady?
Yes.
Okay.
But it was interesting to see here because the two of them do composition for him, but they don't do it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't do the same thing. So like he had them like compose music for a scene he's doing Shattered Glass. So he had them compose music for a scene there, and he just showed it, and it was just like they both went such different style. One was very the 80s synth, and the other was a lot more cinematic. These days, both are equally popular, I suppose, but I don't really go for the 80 Cent. But it was interesting, really interesting one. Like, I don't know much about the world of soundtrack composition, so it sounds complicated, and it sounds like if you have a head for that stuff, that is a talent, and I really think you do deserve some praise. Then it was me.
Mikey.
Yes, I did one on dinosaurs and Transformers and complaining about the Dinobots and nostalgia. Apparently it went down very well.
Mm-hmm.
I had people come up to me for the rest of the weekend. One person insisted on having their photo taken with me. Several people were embarrassed. But yeah.
Hang on, were they embarrassed because they saw your panel? Is that what you're saying?
It looked like it, yes.
Oh.
But yeah, everyone was really nice. Came up and talked to me, and like really, very, very sweet. I really appreciate I really appreciate them just bothering to come up. They didn't have to. Mm-hmm. But yeah, nearly fell off stage because I misjudged. Basically, at the back where the lights come up, I misjudged the width of the gap when I like 5 seconds in, and foot went down, whole body went down, then back up like less than a second, really. And I must say, I think I covered it professionally as fuck. It was just like anyway.
I'm more annoyed that no one recorded it.
It was recorded. The whole thing. Like the Gundam panel is out there somewhere to watch. I don't know. They put it up on their Twitter somewhere. I know some of the people who actually work for TFN were recording things, so I don't know if all the panels are going to be released publicly or what's the story, but it is filmed.
So maybe at some point somewhere there will be footage of Mikey falling off a stage.
Or it'll be edited out like cowards.
No, leave it in. I need to see it.
So yeah, that was me. That was fun. Met Steve White there. I'll talk about him later when I'm talking about the guest stuff. But yeah, then there was the Mapes Diaries. Mapes strike again with we own everything that we shouldn't own. They had a ton of prototypes, a lot of G2 stuff. They had, was it Stalker they had? They'd gotten a hold of like a ton of like concept stuff, like concept paint schemes and stuff like that, and artwork. It was because of someone who was supposed to be at the con, but he wasn't able to make it actually.
Yeah, it was the G2 designer guy, the guy that did the credits and stuff. Was this all the stuff that was in the cases, or did they do a panel on it as well?
Well, like it ended up with the Mapes did a panel, and then later on, I don't remember which day it was. The G2 guy, he was supposed to be there, he wasn't able to be. So actually, Dave and McFeely did it.
Okay.
Very short notice, and I have to give them credit; they did a good job. But yeah, no, it was really interesting. Like, it was really nice to go around and see all the panels. Turnbull was like salivating over the Action Masters. I thought he was going to run off with the case. So that was fun. After that, there was an interesting one about becoming a voice actor.
Okay.
With Sue Blue, Jeremy Levy, and David Sobolov. Very interesting, a bit of different type of panel, like talking about the actual what it is to be a voice actor or voice director, you know, how it is developing a character and all that. Like, they did a thing where like Levy's not as familiar with the franchise and stuff like that, so they like put up pictures of different characters and like what voice would you give to these, and like Blaster, like, okay, here's the like. You could be like the cool dude, but also there's Marvel, and then there's other versions of him, and they've all got what kind of voices would you give to them, and blah 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 blah. Which is actually something I wish more people would do, because I get really weirded out when someone tries to do a really G1 voice for someone who's not very G1 as a character.
It's actually a pretty interesting idea for a panel to be like, hey, you don't actually know Transformers at all. How about we just show you these images, and why don't you make on the spot a voice for them? It's an interesting idea.
But yeah, it was good fun. Interesting. And David Sobolov cried because he got all emotional and shit.
About what?
What was it? How grateful he was to Sue Blue for her wonderful stylings.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Yeah. The designer panel was at 7 p.m. that night. That's what it was. I went to that. I just couldn't remember what time it was. Then you had the Triple Takeover podcast panel that went on for about an hour and a half. They basically... okay, so I'm going to try and phrase this in a way that doesn't sound like I'm criticizing the competition.
All right, yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
It was about a half hour of ads.
Oh, what kind of ads? What were they advertising? Like Colgate?
Patreon, a lot of Patreon.
I thought you were going to say Calgon.
No,
Washing machine, get clean with Calgon.
It was just a lot. Like, it was a lot of waiting before you actually hit the podcast.
Okay, interesting. Half an hour?
About 20 minutes, half an hour. I did time it.
Hatefully timed it.
Just because I was just like, this is a lot to talk about how to contact you and your social medias and support the websites and buy merch and stuff like that.
I do that at the end, right? That's what we would do. And even then, they would be very quick. It'd be like, Patreon if you like, whatever.
But yeah, no, it was girthy.
Oh my God.
The rest was kind of played around with like a versus thing for different collector habits and like what are like the best versions of a character. What are the quintessential toys from a line, and it was done like a Mortal Kombat thing. Choose your fighter kind of thing. I thought they were quite creative. I didn't stay for the whole thing just because I don't super care about old 90s fighting games.
Do you not like Mortal Kombat?
I'm indifferent to Mortal Kombat.
What? Michael.
I was more into Tekken, and even then that didn't last.
That was quite a few years. Well, it's like 2 or 3 years after Mortal Kombat. Come on now.
Yeah, I played Mortal Kombat. I just didn't care about Mortal Kombat.
Michael, did you not like the violence, the anger and hatred, and pulling people apart piece by piece?
I was already I was a child who grew up in the 90s. I'd already seen like a bunch of Aliens and Predator and shit. That I was already jaded.
Yeah, but you get to do it to your friends. That was the joy of it. You beat them up and then you pull the head off, and you're like, "Yeah, you fucking suck, mate. Now you're dead."
You could do that in real life.
Is that how it was in Ireland in the 90s? Jesus.
It is our way. So yeah, no, I thought the three lads, who was it, Maz, Sixo, and Liam, they did a very good job. It was just not like something I stayed for the whole way through.
Okay. I mean, you didn't.
Because it was an hour and a half. No, because I was hungry as well. It was an hour and a half. So came back, left at around. Yeah, I left at around like 6:30, got something, and came back for the motivated panel with Dave and Chris. And then there was a movie night. It was Transformers movie. I didn't go.
Is it just? I mean, it's just there every year, isn't it?
Yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah.
would you believe? So went out, had a bit more food, hung out with people, went to bed.
Oh, what did you think of the new? Because it was your first time seeing the new complex, wasn't it? Not the new complex, but the.
Oh yeah, no. I was like, because that was being built last time I was there.
Yeah, 5 years ago or whatever. Yeah.
It's big.
Nice to have options, right?
Well, yeah, it's nice to have options. Didn't see a lot of it, but it was nice to have options.
Yeah.
Especially since they were having they were doing building works on the actual airport, so getting in and out of the airport, if you wanted to go into the airport restaurants or something like that, was a struggle anyway.
Also, that place is way closer than the airport. The airport was like a 15-20 minute walk there and back. Well, there and back is 40 minutes, so.
Yeah, and the geese are back.
Well, they're always back taking shits on the ground.
I was just waiting. People antagonizing them and running away.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're fucking geese. Don't antagonize a goose.
Yep. So yeah, that was Friday. Saturday we had, opening ceremony at 9, and then the early access to the Trader Hall at 9:45.
Did you have early access?
No, and I'll be honest, I've developed a problem with it.
Why?
One of the nice things about a con is stumbling upon that gem you wanted all these years.
Yes.
Or this rarity or this weird thing or something like that. And are like going into con throughout the week and finding this, that, and the other and having it stocked and whatnot. But one thing it struck me before, but it really struck me this year, in that if you didn't have early access, you had like a 10% chance, 5% chance of finding something unusual. It got cleared out, and people and you can't blame them for this, retailers, they saved the majority of the really unusual stuff for that early access stuff.
I mean, you would do, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's when it was going to clear out.
Yeah.
And to me, that just turned one, you had that big queue out the door for people who were waiting to get in for 11:15. And then you just had you had an hour of people who paid extra to clean the place out. Which I do get.
Yeah.
I do get from a marketing point of view for the convention.
Yeah.
But as an attendee, it just strikes me now, as I get a bit older, as just kind of a bit mercenary and kind of robs some of the fun. If you really did want to just see like, oh, what will they bring out today? They're not really going to bring out anything interesting on Sunday because they've sold it all on Saturday.
No, I can see why that. I mean, I wouldn't be happy about it either, to be honest. But like you said, you get why they do it because it's a little extra bit of cash to help get convention people and all that kind of jazz.
Exactly. And they need all the help they can get.
Yeah.
Convention hall was very well laid out this year. I like that the artist stuff is right smack dab in the center of it now instead of off in its own. Like last time I was there, it was off in its own room.
When you say the artist stuff, do you mean like the comic artists or the artists as in the
actually.
Okay, I see. I didn't know where the I don't want to call it third party stuff. It's not Artist Alley. What is it? Where all the other like non-professionals, the Forge, the Forge was in there.
What they've done basically is that the middle of the room is the Forge. On the opposite side of the Forge is the guests.
Right.
And then on either side of those, so left and right of the Forge, are the retailers.
Okay.
So the first thing you actually see is the art stuff. Met Tricky there as well. He was on the door.
Oh my god, I haven't heard of Tricky in years.
Tricking his way through the door, he was in good form.
Yeah. What color hair was he rocking this year?
As always, he was. As always, he was. No, he wasn't blue. He was grey this time.
Oh my god, he didn't dye his hair. My god.
No, he was starting a new job actually.
Well, that would explain.
Well done, Tricky. And Adam White was there as well. Bumped into him. He was in good form. Saw George on Saturday, but I didn't get a chance to actually sit down and talk to him.
No one did. No one did
because it's George.
Yeah.
And George appears and disappears like the wind.
Yeah.
First big panel there was the RoboSen one.
Oh, you went to that, did you?
I did. It was interesting. They in the setup, it had they had them on a dance loop, like a bunch of Optimus Primes on a dance loop. It was very interesting to watch.
Was it a dance or was it awkwardly shuffling on a table?
There were some moves.
Okay.
There was 6 of them across the platform.
Okay. I thought panels like that would just be advertisement for the product. Is that what it was, or was there a bit more to it than
there's
just
a bit of that? There was a bit of that, but there was some actual hi, I'm enjoying myself. It was a lot of. It felt like an investor panel.
Interesting. Okay.
It felt like it was designed for investors more than casual. So there were some behind the scene things. Some people we did see things that you were not allowed film, and I stared very pointedly at someone who was filming until Katrina mentioned really loudly, "Sure hope no one's filming. We're not allowed film because it might be really shame if you couldn't see cool shit like this."
Yep.
And saw the guy put his phone away really quickly.
Oh, there's some people, aren't there?
Yeah, but maybe he'll get a YouTube look. Maybe he'll get the views.
Oh
but yeah, so that was interesting. Rocky was the fella running that. He it was a lot of stuff into the engineering. Apparently, they, RoboSen's been actually working and stuff they started off more on medical robots.
Oh.
And they've only relatively recently, 2018, 2019 was when they got the Transformers license.
Oh.
And the guy who, would you believe that the guy who runs it is uber fan. Yes, could we do Transformers? Yes. So what character do you?
The guy basically said, "I want to do Transformers." As someone said it, and he just went, "Yeah, I want to do that too."
Yeah,
that's pretty fun. I like that. That's
and we did see some prototypes. I can't actually say what they were.
Okay.
But they were full-on transforming prototypes of characters that you may not expect.
What were your opinions on them then? Because we've voiced our opinions of them on the show before from what we've seen. So what were your opinions of the prototypes?
Interesting to see the prototypes because the engineering was definitely less than what you see in the main ones.
Right.
But they're more challenging transformations.
Okay. Do you think are you going to have a more positive opinion on them when they are officially announced? Or do you think
they may never get announced. These were these are developmental things. They made full on developmental prototypes.
Oh, fair enough.
So
okay.
They are announcing some new ones, but they didn't tell us what they were.
Soundwave, Starscream, Megatron, Bumblebee.
If Megatron's a gun, I'll laugh.
Same.
Well, they've made Bumblebee. I don't think they'll make another Bumblebee.
Well, I thought
But,
I could see them doing another Bumblebee, like movie Bumblebee or something like that. Just have a transforming Bumblebee because G1B is just a non-transforming one. I could see them doing one.
But yeah, it was interesting seeing the RoboSense up close. Like, engineering is kind of insane. Like, I got to see Grimlock up close. I got to see Optimus, Bumblebee. I saw their Buzz Lightyear up close. And the actual, like, process in the engineering and everything else is nuts. Like, it is crazy how much work has gone into these. Absolutely no appeal to me whatsoever as an owning product. But, like, as a display thing you see at a convention, what an interesting thing to see. Apparently, Grimlock's the first robot that can, like, what was it, transform. It's the first one to convert to an alternate mode that remains bipedal in both modes.
Yeah, it can walk in both modes, can't it? That's the idea.
Yeah, which is kind of nuts in terms of engineering. Like, they went over a bit of it and I'm just like, wow, that sounds complicated. And it was just like, yeah, it was. Yeah. After that, there was the Earthspark panel, which was just Maycat. It turns out Maycat's not with Earthspark anymore, which I was surprised.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I'm assuming she helped do all the season 2 stuff already. But so yeah, Maycat. They told many stories. They were interesting. They have too much energy.
Okay.
They are a ball of energy. But yeah, they were really cool. We'll get back to May in a bit. Then Jeremy Levy had his talking about Cyberverse and being Bumblebee. That was kind of standard voice actor stuff.
Right. Did he get
actor.
questions like, do the voice, and can you say this is Bumblebee?
Yeah, usual stuff.
Yeah.
Then there was charity auction.
I hear that kind of got kind of crazy with some of the the stamps, wasn't there, something, right?
Yeah, they sold for ridiculous money. It's all gone for charity, so I ain't going to complain. But
what was it? What was the other stuff? Because I only heard people say about the stamps, and I was like, I don't give a shit about.
There was some art, there were some like figures and stuff like that, but the stamps were like the big sellers. There was some custom stuff that sold for hundreds.
Really?
Some custom stuff just done by a friend of Toy Foods, and they sold for huge money.
Oh wow! All right. What were they? Do you remember?
They were they the Cosmoses or were they the Warpaths? I think it was the Cosmoses. There was like a swarm of little Cosmos men.
Like G1?
Yeah, like they were custom G1 figures.
Oh, okay. Huh.
You could buy them at Toy Foo as well.
I know what you're talking about. I remember seeing them. Were they alongside the weirdly painted Action Masters as well?
Yeah. They went as well, and they went for like huge money. So then you had Sue Blue's first thing. It was again what you'd expect. You've seen this kind of guest presentation a lot.
Did she talk about any of the directing aspects? Because I think that would be more interesting.
Oh yeah, that was
acting.
really more what she was talking about, because she's been a voice director a lot more than she has been a voice actor. And then thing wrapped up for the day, and then you had the Club Con in the evening. I didn't go to all of Club Con. I saw the cosplay. I didn't see Transmission Incoming, so I don't actually know what that was. Was it just Greg Berger again?
Was that a choice thing, or did you just not have time? Did you have other stuff to do, kind of thing?
I had to go get food.
Oh, okay. Because for me, it's just not a thing I ever want to go to.
Yeah.
Those things.
And then there was another auction. There was the quiz. Auction. Just a one-of-a-kind thing. Again, I actually missed that for a different reason. And then there was the quiz, and then there was the music.
I heard the quiz was quite interesting this year because it wasn't done on paper. It was done via an app or something, which sounds like a really interesting idea.
Yeah, no, I thought there was a lot of creativity in this one, to be honest. Yeah. But yeah, I actually missed out because I ended up sitting in the bar with Steve White for like 2 hours. And would have stayed longer, except the girlfriend wanted to go get food. So yeah, he wanted to go to my panel. He is, as well as being like, so for anyone who doesn't know Steve White, he was an editor in Marvel UK. He also edited and drew and did some coloring, colorist and whatnot, and he did the Titans movie comic as well back in 2008, I want to say. But he's also very big in the paleo art circles and paleo comics and stuff like that. Very, very big name. Kind of a crazy art style. Naturally, I got a commission off him. I'll talk about that
Sorry,
later.
what do you mean a crazy art style? What do you mean by that exactly?
He's managed to combine like some of the most lurid color schemes, like neon colors in some ways, with some of the like really good accurate paleo art that's also very comic booky. It's really hard to like. It's Sharkbite Steve on Twitter. Check him out. Genuinely, like some crazy stuff. And he showed me rather some of the commissions he'd been doing, and like his Beast Wars and Neo stuff is gorgeous.
He had a print to sell at the show, didn't he? Because I think I remember seeing that online and stuff, and it looked good.
Yeah,
looked nice.
And he did one for the Mapes, and the Mapes like are bastards because why can't I have that one?
Because you don't have like the disposable income that the Mapes do. That's the reason.
True. Didn't actually see the Mapes. I was looking for them, but I couldn't see them anywhere apart from at the panel. They were always there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we ended up chatting there for 2 hours. He apparently really enjoyed the panel.
That's good. That's great.
It turned out we know a lot of the same people.
Oh, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, hopefully they haven't told him about me. And yeah, really good conversation with him. Nice to meet him and hopefully keep in touch with him. Really, really interesting guy. So yeah, and then Sunday, usual stuff opens, blah 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 blah. The big thing on Sunday was like I didn't stay for all of Sunday, but there was a panel with Maycat and James Roberts, giving their sort of different opinions on writing and like different mediums. And May was hilarious because they were just like, "Oh my God, you're James Roberts, and I love you." And James Roberts like, "Yes, I appreciate that you love me because because I don't think James has seen Earthspark."
I doubt.
Got that. I just got that vibe. I don't think he's been watching Earthspark. I think he probably will after this though. But again, because he started getting a bit fanboy at the end of it himself. But May and him had that good back and forth, and they were good together. Then there was the talk about the stamps, which is just like
was there anything interesting revealed in that panel? Would you say about different styles of writing?
The process sounds convoluted.
Okay.
Like,
would you say that the process from the two of them was similar, or was it different?
Similar. It just sounds like a nightmare going through like the product side of things, the licensing and everything else, and picking the art and the stamp thing. But like JP was there, and he made a good guest as always. Page Plastic, that was again supposed to be Andy Cousins, but he wasn't there. I didn't bother going in because I know he wasn't going to be there, so I don't know what they did for him in the end.
Okay.
Then David Sobolov's individual panel, and then Steve White's panel, which is him talking a lot about his work on Marvel for things like Action Force. His career afterwards, him and Turnbull got into like some very long conversations about late 80s, early 90s comics, talking about his paleo art stuff. There wasn't anyone, like he got a lot, he didn't have the biggest show turnout, which I thought was a shame because I thought he was a very good guest. But he
I guess it makes sense though, right? Because he's more of a limited known kind of guest.
Yeah. But he had quite a few people asking questions, and they didn't have anyone running the mic. So after one go and going like, "Oh dear, I just ran over and took it," did the running.
Were you sick of this shit? And you're like, "Fuck it, I'll do it myself."
Yeah, hi Andrew. Hi Andy. I'm running the mic, and he just laughed and gave me a thumbs up.
Oh,
so
no one stopped you. Okay, well that's a good sign.
Well, I mean, again, like it is an advantage if everyone knows me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, I had to head away after that. So it was wrapping up then. It was just the second Sue Blue one. And then the give us your feedback on how the con went and, pre-orders up and all that jazz. So I had a lot of fun. It was interesting. It was interesting to get back into just getting involved in the panels and things like that. I think if I went next year, I would maybe do a little less panels, a little more people.
Do you think you missed out on people's side of things just because you did so many panels? Do you kind of regret doing as many as you did, do you think?
No, I don't regret it. I'm just like, I did notice the difference. I'm like, I know there are people I missed. are, I couldn't do what I do most years, which is just stick George in a box and carry him around and say, no, you're not leaving until we have a conversation.
That hasn't been George for years, unfortunately. George has been very aloof at these conventions. You do see him, I think he's only there for like a day or something, or if he's there, he's there for a day, a little night maybe, and then he's off early the next morning.
Yeah, and he's not there to buy or anything anymore, so...
No.
I think he did buy something. He said he spotted something and just like, oh no, this is good. I want this. But
wasn't it Transmel 2 Megatron? Yeah. I think he said.
I think so.
Legacy. I think he said that on Fluff and Hammer when I poked him.
Yeah, but yeah, no. It was fun. Good con. TFNation remains a good con. Feedback, like Jack Lawrence and a bunch of other people, like were just saying like it was the most fun they have at conventions. It's the most inclusive convention they go to. It's the most like conversation focused one. So yeah, as far as I know, most people had fun. There was a small bit of drama at one point from non-TFNation people at the hotel, but there always is, because they're like, who are these freaks? Freaks!
Hang on, what was the drama? Down.
Don't know. All I know is that I heard like there was something going on. So they ran down the hall. But I'm assuming it was just like running down the hall screaming.
Fair enough. Okay.
Got guns. Why do they have guns? Grabbing one off the table, waving to people, say, "Why can't it be but? Why is it car and robot? Why can't it not be but one?
Not monkey, etc."
While waving neither a truck nor a monkey.
No. So what would, I mean, you talked about the feedback. What would your feedback be for TF Nation? What things did you maybe have not a positive viewpoint on? Like I mean, this could be hotel wise as well, but preferably like convention stuff that the convention can do, because obviously the TF Nation can't do anything about the bar or the food costs or anything like that.
Well, they do get like special rates for hotel rooms. Because they did do this a couple of times, I think they should push for special rates for food, because the bar's going to make money anyway.
Mm-hmm. They might be able to push it, but I guess it's a thing of, would the hotel do it? Because they might not give a shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But like it got ridiculous at times. It really did.
Yeah.
I think I think it would be kind of cool if there was more available, or more focus put on rather, on the fan panels. Because I think one thing I heard from feedback was that was something people really got into this time. Like the Friday, like people really liked the Friday with all the fan panels, but that's the only time they were on. I think it's probably a good idea not to have them competing with major like guest panels, but I do think if you had a bit more emphasis on it, it might be a good thing. Because
what do you mean by emphasis? Do you mean like just more? Do you mean spread out over the weekend and stuff like that?
I would like have more like advertisement of them beforehand, rather than like just a Twitter post. Like there was one Twitter post and that was it. And I'm just like, there were a lot. Like I didn't expect anyone at mine, and there was like 3/4 of a room full. I had a good turnout, and like mine is like the Gunpla was probably the less tangential or the more tangential one, but it's still like neither one of us were exactly centralized. I'll talk about vendors and stuff in a minute, but I think if that went down so well, I would have more emphasis on that in your advertising and whatnot.
Is there enough time to have more fan panels, do you think?
I think so, because like you could easily have fan panels go until 6:00.
Okay. Do you mean just on the Friday? You mean throughout the convention itself?
Because like the main convention's ending at like 4, and like I'm pretty sure you have enough people like who could do something that you could keep the panel room open for another hour or two.
Okay, all right.
So I think that would be my main one. Apart from that, like I think it was fairly well done. Dave was running around like a madman, as is Dave's way. But yeah, no, so my I don't even think I'd say it's a big takeaway. It's just like if you were going to make some changes, I think just more from the fan side of things, because people really liked that this time around.
And I guess the only other thing that you don't like, but probably won't change, is the early access stuff. But you kind of accept that it's just going to be there. You just don't like it, kind of deal.
Oh yeah, that's never going away. That is never ever going away. It's just one of those things like you have to accept it. Like they need money to run the con, so they do have to monetize where they can.
Mm-hmm.
That's life.
So
as funny as it may seem.
What were your main positives that you took away then from this one compared to, or like specific improvements maybe compared to the previous one that you went to 5 years ago? Was there any noticeable difference that you're like, wow, this is way better?
I think the con layout was better.
Mm-hmm.
Having everything between two rooms, having those rooms being pretty accessible, not having I'm spending money on the forge, now I'm spending money on the vendors. They're in different rooms, and having all the guests all packed into like the sidewalls the way they had a lot more space there this time around. Very good spacing out. I think the variety of panels was better this time, like not just a bunch of like, you remember like you'd go to a voice actor panel and then afterwards you'd sit there watching an episode.
Yes.
And you'd be bored. And there'd be that section, like you'd have the panel room, and then there'd be that section where everyone would sit down there'd be the panel like half of the room, and then you'd have the section where everyone's like buying, and when there wasn't a panel on, you just have like 2 or 3 hours of people just using that as a sit down spot.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like you just be having G1 episodes playing over and over again. None of that. Like there was always something going on. So much better like use of time, I think. Overall, I think they're like, I wouldn't say it's gotten like noticeably better because like the people involved in it were already doing cons for years. But I think it is very much no longer the convention that took over from Auto Assembly.
Yeah.
It's its own thing. There are people who are going there, like if you said Auto Assembly now, they'd have no idea because TFNation is just the convention.
Yeah. And
I think that's good. So yeah, that would be kind of my big feedback for it.
Cool. All right. That's I'd say that's pretty decent feedback. I would hope.
Mm-hmm.
I'd hope if anybody from TF Nation listened to this, they'd be able to at least hear the things that you said and, you know, maybe address them, maybe not, maybe tell you to kill yourself. I don't know. I don't know what they...
I'd rather they didn't, but sure.
Yeah. Well, what did you get then? What were your pickups then? What did you buy?
Not a ton of Transformers, actually.
Why didn't you buy Fans Hobby Huntsman? Why didn't you do that?
Because, like, he was there and Flame Toys Tarn was there, and I went away and came back and they were both gone.
Neither of them. You got neither of them.
No, because I went to the cash machine, came back, and by the time I was back, they were gone. So because someone and like, God, Tarn was a good price.
How much was Tarn out of interest?
$180.
That's not bad. How much was he last time you saw him?
$250.
Oh God, yeah, he would have been way better then. Jeez.
And to be honest, I think looking at them, like I think this one was a better quality one.
Clearly, the universe doesn't want you to have Tarn. It keeps like waving it in front of you and then go no.
And no. So what did I get? So I got some commissions. Specifically, I got one off Jack Lawrence, which is still being done. He has shown me the line art, but
colored as well, or is it just going to be the line art?
It's going to be colored, which is what's holding it up.
Okay.
But he is doing a what if Fang from Primal was a Dinobot.
Oh my God.
The art is kind of insane. Like, as someone who has had it ups and downs with Jack Lawrence's style, I was just like, cool, Jack is there. Like, I already got one from Nick. I don't need to get another one. Nick was there as well. I insulted him and he walked off. But
he didn't
Steve
say
White
anything.
No, I insulted him. Then Steve White insulted him, and then Nick said "aw" and left. We were both like, everyone loves Nick. You have no celebrity power at this table, so.
I like the idea that you just got a group of people to bully Nick. Nick was at first was like, "Oh, Mikey, you're just being a dick," and it's like, no, Mikey's got a horde of people being mean to you now. Oh,
they're gathering. So yeah, so it's just kind of insane how good that left me literally stunned. Like, I'm not often like, oh my God, I went over a piece, but I was like, wow, that is so much better than I was expecting. So hopefully that'll be on its way in the next few weeks. Then I got a commission off Steve White, so I got Fang and Rexy together in a shot, and I just said, do what you want to do, and he did them like watching over a field, and it looks So fucking good.
I'm
Oh my
noticing
god.
a pattern with these commission arts, Mikey. I'm not
Yeah,
trying
Nick
to say
laughed-
that you're pegged as a bit of a fanboy of that show, but you know.
At last commission I got off Nick was Spear and Fang.
What? You don't say. That's crazy.
Yeah, crazy. But yeah, this is like, I'm thinking next one will be like give Fang a robot mode to someone. Yeah, no, it's a really, really good piece, and it's like all I asked was like you can see the Fang and you can see the scars on Rexy, and yeah, I've got that frame that's hanging up now. It is gorgeous. Just looking at it now, it is very nice. I also he had another primal print. Steve had another primal print, and I was just like, yeah, I'm getting that because that's a really nice shot of Spear and Fang, so it's mine.
What was Steve's opinion on Primal? I assume he's seen it, right? Do you like it?
Just a tad. We ended up talking about Gendy Tartakovsky for like half an hour.
Oh, okay. He's got good taste then. That's fine. That's okay.
Man has very good taste. Like, I had a bit in the panel where I just said like, oh, paleo meat has gotten kind of crazy these days, and there's Primal, which is probably the best show that's been out in 10 years, full stop, don't at me. And I just heard it from the corner. It was just looked over, just like, thank you, Steve. But yeah, so he had some crazy art. Like his actual he had like art. He had art books there. Thunder Lizard and Imperial Lizards. I bought both. And they just showed his like art style. One was like his stuff more recently, and was like his older stuff. But like he does fantasy stuff. He had like a really cool zine. Like it was basically I could get the art book or get a couple of the prints, and I'd rather get the art book because I get like a lot of the prints were already in there. And like he had some really cool stuff with xenomorphs. A lot of stuff like based on like Star Wars comic book culture.
Okay.
This is some like cool Dinobot art in there. Like a lot of like 70s, 80s UK comic references. And then like his paleo art, which is just like friggin' gorgeous. That I also got like a print off of Jack of just like the Fall of Savage Run Dinobots because I was literally just walking by the table. It was a tenner, and I said like, fuck it. In terms of figures, let's see where we go. Before I went there, like literally, what? 2 days before I went there, I was just in a HMV in Dublin buying some stuff for the trip. Because I wanted to get a T-shirt for the day, and they had Dicelings. They had the D&D Dicelings, and I was just like, I was curious about these. I'm going to get one. So I ended up. These are D20 die that turn into Dungeons and Dragons monsters.
Oh, those things. Oh, I remember them. Weren't they like £20 or something when they first came out, or something like that?
I got mine for €14.
Yeah, that's a bit of a better price.
So how many of them are now? There's 4 dragons, all the bad dragons, which I find interesting. The four dragons. There's the Beholder. There's the Owlbear. There's the Displacer Beast, which is basically kind of a jaguar with like tentacles. Then they've got some repaints, and they're just after releasing the Mimic. The Mimic looks nuts. The Mimic looks like the best one. I got the Owlbear. So the brown owlbear. There's a white owlbear based on the movie, and then there's a brown owlbear.
Okay.
So engineering on these, when you go from a D20 die to a bear shape, it is a little flawed, shall we say? So it is like it's very panely, and there's a lot of forgiveness going on in how it works. But it is quite a fun experience. It is quite clever how they actually pull it off. There's some clever engineering bits to it. I would like to get 1 or 2 more to see if any do it better or any do it worse. I've heard the Beholder is the worst one, and looking at it, it looks like you just fold up 3 panels and say, look, it's an eyeball.
Oh.
The girlfriend got a Displacer Beast, so I did get mess about with that. I'd like to get one of the dragons. I'd definitely like to get the Mimic, because the Mimic just looks good. Looks really, really good. So that was before the convention. At the convention, someone was giving away minicons.
Oh, wow. Which ones? What kind of mini? Like Armada minicons or like more modern ones?
Japanese blind pack. I think they were from the Cybertron days. But yeah, I got one. I do not know who it is. It is basically a green dump truck.
Okay. Do you like it?
It's a minicon.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's free as well, so yeah, can't go wrong.
Free minicon. I won't complain. I ended up getting the Velocitron Crasher for Jai.
Oh, okay.
because he demanded. He
I was gonna-
demanded.
I was gonna say, did Jai ask, or did you just get it for Jai without any knowledge?
So yeah, he heard it was there, and he just like, listen, since you're there, could you get it? And I was just like, yeah, I'll check if it's still there. I was surprised it was still there actually, because I found out about this quite late in the day. The Gunpla stall was back again. Gundam Mad. And they had tons of stuff. They had Zoids. They had some like the H&M kits. Almost at a great price.
What do you mean?
They
almost?
Basically, if the Genobreaker had been 20 less, I'd have gotten it.
Oh, okay. That's not like 20 is quite a bit more than like just not quite the right price. 20 is quite a lot, at least to me.
Yeah. And if I had more space in my bag, I'd have got. I like the Liger Zero was 60, which is really good, but I didn't have space in the bag at that time. So, but I did get the Planosaurus Stegosaurus, which is the third in the Bandai dinosaur kits.
This your first? You've got one of these before, haven't you?
I've got the T-Rex. I've got the Triceratops. I've built the T-Rex. I haven't built the Triceratops yet.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's the Stegosaurus, there's the Mosasaurus, and they're bringing out a Spinosaurus, or the Spinosaurus is out, one of the two of them. So yeah, these are fun kits. They're like articulated skeletons you put skin on top of.
You're gonna 100% them? You're gonna get all of them? Do you think? Or just a few?
They're very cheap. They're like a 10 15 mode. I'm tempted. I got the Turn A, the high grade Turn A finally.
Woo!
I've wanted that for a long time.
Have you built it yet?
I have. No, I've been building Gao all week.
Oh my god.
Gaiga! I finished Gaiga! I've got most of the Gao machines done. I still got the finished Gao. Gao liner, Gao drills, and
Stealth
Gao wing. Stealth Gao, thank you. But yeah, I'll save a review of that until I'm finished. But real great, it's good quality, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's God, Geiger's transformation's hilarious. But yeah, Turn A, looking forward to building that. It is Mustachio Man. Who doesn't love Mustachio Man?
It's a fun kit.
It's a fun kit.
You don't know. You will know.
I hope it will be. It looks fun.
It is.
I think it's going to be a nightmare for panel lining, but cool. From Toyfu, yeah, because I had to make a Toyfu purchase. I got the Beast Hunters Wheeljack.
Oh, why?
Because I had to make a purchase from Toyfu, and I said, like, okay, I can't decide what to do. Mr. Turnbull, I have grabbed you as you walked by.
Oh.
Pick one for me. He said, you want good or bad? I don't care. Do you want normal or eccentric? Eccentric. Handed me Wheeljack. It does not get more of those things than this. And then left. I get like a man in the night. It's a fun toy. Like, I like the transformation. It's quite clever.
What's it based off of again? I can't remember.
It's just the Prime Wheeljack.
It's just Prime Wheel. Did it have anything special? I can't remember. Did it do anything special? Like add like extra bits to it or anything?
It had a new weapon. It had lots of spikes. It's got a new wing pack. It's a fun transformation. It's a fun, like, I really like the aesthetic. It very clearly was not a transformation designed around adding a bunch of spikes.
You mean like Croc Out?
Yeah. Boy howdy is their parts collision. But it's fun. It looks really cool. I really, really like it. It's got some hilarious paint scuffing on the legs.
Toyfu had a lot of good stuff this year.
They had
videos
I've
seen.
They had a lot of good, like, Christ on a bike. They had. I
tell you what, I was shocked to see, which I was sad that wasn't there for. This was obviously after the fact. They had like loads of stormtroopers.
Oh yeah, I saw those.
And I was like, man, I could really do with a drench and a rage. And it's only like after the fact I saw them and went, God damn it.
But no, they had some really, really good stuff. I saw Matt at Kapow as well, which was nice.
Oh yes.
I did buy from Kapow, in fact.
Oh yes.
I did. Hang on. I got Super Megatron.
Oh yeah, so the image. Yeah. Did he come with the comic or not?
No. He got the box. No comic. No comic. No comic.
Is it even worth it? Is it?
Yeah. Well, I got it like 60.
That's fine.
Which is definitely a lot less than it was new.
Yeah.
So yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, it's a retool of Galvatron, of Titan's Return Galvatron, an infamous figure. I think it's fair to say. But like, it's a crazy retool. Robot mode is amazing. robot mode like looks so fucking good. Posability is nice. It's nice and clicky. The new gimmicks they've added, like the transforming cannon, is really cool. I like the way the wings. I like the way that the Super Megatron to Ultra Megatron thing works is like clever in the like, wow, some of this is dumb, but in a clever way kind of way, you know?
What do you mean?
Basically, so open up the chest. Okay, now rotate it. Oh, cool. Okay, now completely make his head explode. Oh, okay, and now you got no face. And now just take the wings on the back, fold them out, and say that's a new mode.
Oh, okay, all right.
Just say like, yeah, I've got wings now. But no, it's really fun. Really fun to handle. The alt modes are hilarious. The jet, like. We needed alt modes for this, and we didn't want it to be a gun.
Right.
So it's like, it's less a tank and more a crotch with a gun on the front.
Oh, okay.
And it's less a jet and more a gun with a guy in the back. Mm-hmm. But it's fun. It's surprisingly fun to go between the different modes. And it's just like having, like, it does not do the two bots, two alt modes quite as well as animated Shockwave. But it is just enjoyable to handle. It feels like a really good quality figure. The paint is gorgeous. There's so much on it. Every bit of red is painted on. Really nice figure. Some people were very mad at me for getting it.
Why?
Like I had a lot of people. I had a lot of people like suddenly like go like, oh my god, I can't believe you got that. Where did you get that? Anyone else got it? Anyone else got it? Anyone? No, I don't know. I only saw this one. I bought it. Mine now. Go away. And the other thing, this was actually what I was like, I am not coming away from the con without this. I got Toxitron Grimlock. Oh. No, if only. She was one of those things that was gone by the time I went in.
But you knew she was there.
She was there.
Oh, Mikey.
But yeah, I got GT Grimlock, I got Tiger Grimlock, and my first experience of the Leader Studio Series Generations Grimlock mold. It is an engineering improvement on this, a simplified engineering improvement on Masterpiece.
Okay.
Which is exactly what we thought it was.
Yeah. So, do you like it, or is it just kind of, it's fine?
I like it. My feelings towards the design and everything else are no different, but having it in hand, it is a nice toy. I can see why some people would go like, it's a nice toy, but it's overhyped.
Right.
Because it is very simple, and you have seen this before. And you will see it again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. I have a slide on that. But there's a lot of ratchet joints. Like, most of the joints are ratchet joints. Like,
okay, that's
ones
good.
You wouldn't expect, like the shoulders are ratchets, the hips are ratchets, the knees are ratchets. There's multiple joints in the arm that are ratchets. The box art, I get the feeling the box art was done in the preliminary stage because the box art has a different head, and like whoever was drawing it realized you could like, because of how the transformation works, you could get the arms into like a more dinosaur leg pose, which is funny to me. But yeah, like I think at one point this was supposed to have a different head. It didn't in the end, but as a paint scheme, absolutely gorgeous. The paint on the robot mode looks phenomenal. Like, it pops so fucking hard. And even like the unpainted plastic looks really, really good in person. The stripe proportions on the robot mode are perfect. Looks exactly what I'd want. Not so much in dinosaur mode. I wish there was more going up the back and on the dino wings. But it works fine. It's just like, I was just like, cool, want more though. Dino mode is, again, it's Masterpiece Grimlock. It's a good mode. It's a solid mode, but again, my feeling towards it remained the same. I think the robot mode looks better because of that, like the teal and stuff that comes in when it's in robot mode makes a big improvement over some parts of the overall aesthetic.
Okay.
So I think it is very much a robot mode. One of those paint jobs that makes you go like, keep him in one mode if you're going to keep him in robot mode, just because like that is when he looks his best.
Yeah.
Any
issues with like quality control on yours at all? Would you say no? Okay.
QC is solid. Actually, that was something I really noticed. It's the most solid QC I've seen for a leader since I'd say, oh god, Host Power of the Primes, really.
Oh, that's good because I can't remember which Dinobot leader it was, but I definitely remember hearing.
Sludge.
Oh, it was Sludge that was kind of khaki.
Sludge is one that had a lot of QC issues. But yeah, no, this is a solid figure. Like, putting aside any qualms I have about design aesthetics and everything else, and transformation engineering being just simple, because it's the same thing you've seen 1,000 times before. It's a very solid figure, a very fun figure to handle. I'm glad I've got it, and I'm glad I've got this color scheme finally.
Woo.
I'm really glad. And I find it like so hilarious. New Age just went, and now we're doing it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I saw some New Age stuff. I tried to find a Samurai Grimlock, but he was gone by the time I got there. But seeing him in person, like, New Age is nuts in person.
Yeah,
like,
they're good.
How do you do that? But yeah, so that was TF Nation for me.
Did you
A
say
good
you got
experience all
Toxitron
around.
as well?
No, I was going to get Toxitron, but it was basically, I saw Megatron, and I said, like, I'll get Megatron.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But yeah, that was TF Nation for me.
Wow, sounds like a good time, generally speaking.
Will
you do it again? You're gonna go next year?
I hope so. I might try and sort out another panel.
Oh, what would it be on? More dinosaurs?
Don't know yet. Need to have a thought.
All right. Okay. All right. Cool. That's good.
Yeah. TF Nation, fun time.
Good. Fantastic. I'm glad that Mikey's time and experience was a good one. Enough that you'll be willing to do it all over again.
All over. You should go again. We should kidnap you and drag you there. In fact, one day I'm going to kidnap you and drag you there.
If I, like 1 to 10 years time, I'll be there again. That's
sometime in the future. I will be there.
Yep.
But what was I going to say? Yeah. Yeah. Was there anything else interesting I did this week?
Yeah. What else did you do?
King Oger.
Yeah. What have you done then for the past 2 weeks since you've come back from TF Nation?
A lot of work, really. Back at work. Basically, because I got a copy for free, just because someone was saying, like, here you go, and walked off, and I was just like, thank you. I got Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh. Someone just gave it
so
to
I've been
you.
Playing. Yep, just handed it to me for no reason. Just said,
right.
This is yours now.
Did you know
brand
who
new
they
copy
were?
as well. It wasn't. Yes, I had met them before.
Okay, that's
but
fine.
It was like brand new copy, and I was just like, oh, cool. But what was I going to say? But yeah, been playing that. Basically, seeing what the story is, because like I never had any interest in Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom, everyone's like Breath of the Wild, but better. So I have played a good few hours. I think the gameplay's solid. It's not challenging. Well, it is challenging in the sense that you have very limited actual attacks, and you'll frequently encounter enemies that hit harder than you. It's not a challenging on a skill. It's not like Elder Ring, you're not good enough yet.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you know you need to go and get the thing for this, and then you'll come back here, and this will be much easier. The basic gameplay is walking around. It's a soothing game in its way.
Okay.
Like I'm not like I'm saying like it is enjoyable to wander around the world and explore. The story is not well delivered.
In what sense? You mean is it like Skyrim? Kind of like the story's there, but it's not really important.
Yes, but more so.
Oh, that's impressive because Skyrim's really bad for its story.
The thing is, they've got a full narrative going on, but I've been playing over 30 hours, and I've only been doing story stuff for the last 4.
Oh,
because I wanted to see if I could get better items.
Okay.
And the story is not like the dialogue has that like overly forced "we are talking in medieval ways" thing that always you see in these things, and then but like it is fun. It is a fun, relaxing experience, and it is one you will lose time to. But it is for me, it's nowhere near a 10 out of 10.
Okay. Have you made a mech yet with a giant penis?
No, and I'm not really interested to.
What? What? Why not?
Because the amount of time it takes to do that properly and do that kind of stuff properly and get to the point where you get enough battery to be able to do that properly. It's way too much.
It's an investment.
Way too much. I'm not sure I'll finish this just because the amount of time it will take me to get to the stage where I can finish the story, I think is going to be big.
Okay.
And that's just not me. Like, I want to know what's going on. And the fact Link has no personality. And the fact most of the NPCs, even if they talk, don't have a lot of personality.
Has Link ever had a personality? Like, honest question, because I don't know.
Link is always supposed to be a self-insert character, but I don't need self-insert characters.
Do you not want to stay there for the waifus and the husbandos, which I hear everybody go on about?
I have met most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Science lady has boobs.
Yeah. Boobs are good. I like them.
Cool.
Thumbs up.
Boobs are positive. I'm not. No, that's.
Well, that sounds pretty anti-boob, though, Mikey.
All I'm going to say is those boobs are not of the quality that would have made me like happier to have paid like Nintendo Switch prices, because Nintendo Switch never comes down in price.
Sounds pretty
Games never get reduced.
Ooh, okay. Controversial statement from Mikey. Fair enough. Okay.
Controversial statement. I think a lot of people are going to say I'm a fucking lunatic for having this opinion of it. Like, I think if I bought it, I would be rating it 6 or 7. Since I didn't buy it and it was a gift, it's a 7 or an 8. But it has 8 moments, but it sits much more into 7. But yeah, if I paid like the full price of it myself, I would have a very different opinion, I think.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
But like it's not bad or anything. It's just like
it's no astral chain.
Kind of game. Yeah, astral chain is just like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah, a lot of stuff like that, a lot of work, general catching various light stuff on TV. Biggest thing really has been King Oger wrapped up its first arc.
25 episodes then?
26.
26, okay. Yeah, halfway point, basically.
Yep, and they are doing a time skip. They are doing a 2-year time skip.
Oh my god.
Basically,
when was the last time they ever done that with a Sentai show? I can't think of if they've done that.
I know they've done smaller ones, but not that scale.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this basically wrapped up, as far as we can tell, every clear plot point.
All right.
Like, both villain groups are done. Every major character is in the place they needed to be. And overall, it's been just progression. So really, like, doing a time skip so you can bring in the next arc and then expand like how it was all tied together, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. Overall, I still say this is the best Sentai that's been made in recent years. In fact, I would say it's the best Sentai since Kyoryuger, which is really weird because I just learned there's going to be a Kyoryuger crossover.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought you were going to say like a 10-year anniversary, and I was going to go, oh.
No, they already did that.
Oh. Oh.
But yeah, there's going to be a Kyoryuger crossover, which is going to be weird. Apparently, they're bringing out like a whole new Kyoryugen who's compatible with the Shoe Gods and King Oger, so that'll be cool. But yeah, so I would really, if anyone wants to try it out, now is the time. Really, like, now is very much the time to try it out. Yeah, check it out.
Okay, I thought there was going to be more to it. You kept stopping. I was like, okay.
Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that was me. What about you, Andy?
Well, I haven't actually talked about what I've done for a while just because of how the format of the shows. So recently I've watched a D&D movie, the Thieves on a Malarkey. How did you rate that? I can't remember.
I give it a 7, but I also say I enjoyed it a lot more than it was because it like hits many D&D things I found very amusing.
Yeah, I saw it and was like, it's more of a 6. I thought it was fine. I didn't like the dialogue. The dialogue felt like a D&D party, which can sometimes be a little cringe. It's okay, but it didn't blow me out of the water. Yeah, it was fine. There's also like the weird point where they meet up with the paladin dude and have that big adventure, and at the end of the day, it's just to get the crown. It's a large chunk of the movie just to get the crown.
I love that so. I fucking love that. I love that so much because that's just a campaign.
Yeah, no,
That's
I know.
how campaigns work.
Sure.
I love the fact he just walked the overpowered NPC who couldn't stay because the game would be done.
Yeah,
And he literally, what does he do? Walks off in a straight line. And you hate him. You hate him so much because he's so perfect.
Just narratively, it's just I know it's like probably appropriate. It's just like it's fine. It's all right. Yeah, I didn't think it was bad. It's just like 6 out of 10. It's fine. I also watched Sonic 2. That's
I thought you'd seen that.
No, I hadn't seen Sonic 2 before. I'd seen the first one, not the second one. That's 5 out of 10. The story gets messy. Messy.
I would rate it quite a bit higher than that, but I don't mind the wedding stuff as much as a lot of people do.
It's very out of place. It's very forced. It brings the story to a massive halt.
It absolutely feels like we wanted to keep these characters relevant.
How can you rate it higher than a 5 then if it just like derails the story?
Because I thought they were fairly competently done, and honestly, I just really like the main story of that movie.
It's like just such a massive derail. I think it cripples the movie storytelling and pacing.
For me, it's just a couple of scenes, and I've seen it done worse.
The wedding is not a couple of. The wedding goes on for like 10 minutes. It's quite a long sequence.
Yeah, 10 minutes. It's an hour and a half movie. It's
a large chunk to like derail your entire story, though. Also, I didn't like the dance sequence either. I thought that was very.
I thought that was fun. I just liked it. I like that movie a lot. I am shocked by how much I like that movie, to be honest. Because again, it's kind of like the first one. It's kind of like the first one for me. Just like I expected to hate you, and I don't. And I think I honestly like the second one more. I thought they brought in they integrated the video game elements much better in the second one. And I think they're going to be in trouble if Jim Carrey doesn't come back for the third one, because I don't think Shadow is going to be a particularly compelling villain.
Why are you doing Shadow? Why wouldn't you do Metal Sonic?
Everyone wants Shadow. Shadow will be there, and either Chaos will be the main villain or Metal Sonic will be the main villain.
How do you not want the main dude just to be Metal Sonic as the antagonist? How is it just not
I want it to be.
It just makes more sense than Shadow with his weird angsty bullshit. It's like, what are you doing?
What I want is him to be Metal Sonic and not fall into the trap and make him sympathetic.
You know what the side story should be where it derails the story. We should have Rouge in there trying to have sex with that dude. And it's like causing like a family dynamic problem.
Rouge is just constantly chasing Knuckles.
No, the human dude.
Rouge is just constantly. Oh, Rouge is chasing Dad.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun.
That's how you get him involved, and you completely nuke the story again. It's like, there you go. There's your weird out of context thing, just to get the human cast in there for no particular reason. It's like, all right. There's some really weird edits as well in the movie, which are really clunky in places. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I remember watching it and just being like, "Oh, that's a rough cut." Oh, I think it was like when the big green beam goes into the sky, and then Sonic runs off directly towards it, and then he's suddenly on an island after going up and down those waves. He washes up on the island. The edits there and cuts there were a bit on the choppy side. I didn't think it was bad. I just think it's kind of mediocre, kind of 5 average out of 10. It could have been better. There were bits I liked. I think when Jim Carrey wasn't on screen, the movie started to drop in quality. He should have been just there more often because he was, he's very good. Kind of his sidekick felt kind of forced. Like it's like, oh, do you remember his sidekick? Yeah, he's there. What's he doing? Yeah, nothing. Making tea. That's it. Nothing else. Okay. Same for the side police officer.
Smasher, which I do like. I do like the stash smasher scene.
Yeah, I like that.
What just happened?
That was fun. The dumb police officer. He was there. He existed in the movie. There. Yeah, I was like, okay, why? Okay, we don't need that. It's fine. It's fine. I think for younger kids, it's good. I don't think it's as focused as the first movie, but I like the more game elements, like you say, in this one. I just don't think it's as good of a product as the first one, mainly because they felt forced to get in the human family. I was like, oh, no thanks. It's okay though. What else did I watch? I watched Hellraiser 2022, the remake, reboot, whatever you want from HBO. Oh, it was on HBO. It's on Shudder and other places like that. So watch that. That's very good. It's the best Hellraiser since 2. And there have been a lot of Hellraisers since 2. And they were anus. They were really bad Hellraiser movies. This is actually a decent Hellraiser movie. Really good graphics, effects and whatnot. That's all very nice. It keeps to the plot. It doesn't go crazy. The main woman in it is a horrible person. And I don't know if it was intentional that they made her an awful person. She is a recovering alcoholic drug user. And by the end of the movie, all of her actions effectively have got people hurt and killed. But they want to make it out like the main boyfriend, who was kind of the one who introduced her to the box, was the villain all along. Even though multiple times he said maybe you should get rid of the box. You know, it seems dangerous. He said this multiple times. His worst crime was he gave it to her to hold on to. And then after that, every time it's like, don't do this, get rid of it. Like the sisters, the girl's brother dies. She gets an old lady killed that they were trying to find out information about the box. There's quite a few people she instigated to kill. So I don't know if the message of the movie was that recovering people or people who are still stuck in addiction will hurt everyone around them. I mean, I don't think that's the message that they were going for, but that's the kind of message that I pulled away from it. Because she managed to get away by the Cenobites at the end. Go, okay, you've gone through all the configurations of the puzzle box. What gift do you want? You know, do you want power? Do you want sensation? And basically all of their gifts are shit. They're all like, Lamau, you're going to be in utter agony. And she's like, I don't want a choice. And they're like, you're going to choose life. You've chosen suffering. All the people you've sacrificed, and you've got nothing to show for it. So she, like, her biggest sacrifice, her biggest pain is that she feels guilty. I would take guilt. I'll take 1,000 years of guilt over what the Cenobites do to people. 1,000 years, because the Cenobites are fucking insane with how torturous they are. I'll take it. She feels a little guilty. Boo-hoo. Oh, what a bitch. I don't like that main character. She wasn't a bad actress, or I think she was a bad person. The character was a bad person. It's a very good film. I liked it.
Not the actress. So what you're saying is you think the actress is a monster.
No. She's fine. It's just she was written to play a monster. And I don't think the movie intentionally means for her to be a monster. But again, that's how I took it. I'd recommend it if you like the Hellraisers. This is definitely more 1 and 2 than anything else. Have you seen the Hellraiser, Mikey? Any of them?
Many moons ago. I don't remember them very well.
They're very good. The first one's very interesting. It's not what I expected it to be. Second one's more what you expected to be, but very good. And the third one's good as well. I like them. Just don't watch anything after 2. In terms of things I got today, I got through the post Legacy Inferno, because I have resigned myself to be like, well, I'll never find him for under the price I got him for, which was 27. I was like, well, it's never going to happen. I may as well just buy him for 27 because he was on a quote unquote Amazon deal. Instead of being 32, he was 27. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just buy it, get it over with. He's good. What a shock. He's really good. He's enjoyable. His arms are... I mean, this is, preaching to the choir for anyone that has the Legacy Inferno. Tucking his arms up into his chesticle slot cavity for ant mode is a pain, an unnecessary pain, which is just not desperately fun to do. Robot mode is really good. He holds together nicely. His articulation's fun. I wish they gave him his real gun and not just gave him his jet ass and said, oh, that's kind of like your gun. I'm like, that could have been a bit nicer, but yeah, he's great. I really like him quite a lot. I also got fans hobby Buster. Buster? Yeah, Buster. Want to do a video on him at some point. But I like it generally, but there are definitely some issues. Maybe it's because I'm stupid and I haven't transformed it right, but his arms, like below his shoulder on the slider, so you slide like his entire forearm upwards to cover the white part of his bicep, that doesn't lock into place when you pull it down. So when you fiddle with the arm, if you straighten the arm out, you can accidentally kind of nudge the arm upwards and go above the shoulder joint. And I don't know, again, if that's me not transforming it correctly, or if that's just like something that they should have included in the transformation. Otherwise, it's my first fan's hobby toy. I think it's really good. It's not the most articulated figure ever. I think, again, it could have a bit more articulation to it. But yeah, I like it. I'm going to be getting Hydra, when he comes out. For those interested, I know Wind, whichever one, the green one, the mint green one is coming out soon. The pre-orders are up on Shozy. Not sponsored, by the way. Of course, not yet. So if you want to,
I'd love to be sponsored, but I'd love to be able to buy from them. Jesus, I can't actually buy anything off them.
It's fine. We'll take the sponsorship, and I'll take the benefits. That I'm okay with that. If the benefits were good enough, it might be good. Then I could buy the stuff. Then you could get a shift from me to you. It might be cheaper.
Ooh,
potentially. But I mean, we're not sponsored, so what's the fucking matter? Who cares? Who cares? Game-wise, I've been playing HoloCure. You got HoloCure yet, Mikey?
No. How have you been doing? HoloCure, which has more people playing it than Overwatch.
Yeah, well, Overwatch is shit.
True, but Overwatch was shit for many years, and I think it says a lot about where Overwatch is. That very good, but a unofficial fan game is kicking its ass.
I think it also helps it's free.
That as well.
And Vampire Survivor games are very in at the moment. But you haven't got it. You should definitely get it. It's fun. You can play as your girl, Miko.
I do love playing as Miko.
Yeah,
in life.
She's a nightmare. She's not overpowered. If you want the money strat, you got to get Risu and go No Nut November. Oh, sorry, Non-Stop Nut. The nuts will keep flowing. As the nuts flow, the money rakes in. It's fun. It's really fun. It's weird because I was going through the list and going, where's Nenechi? She's not here. Where's Marine? Marine's not here either. Oh my god. And it's just they haven't updated those characters into the game yet. But they will do in time, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm assuming they'll try and get a full roster in.
Oh yeah. I mean, as fast as they can, but by the time they get an update in, it's like, oh hey, there's more people to do now. Yeah. No, I again highly recommend it. It's free. If you don't like it, you know what you've lost? Nothing. It's free. Who cares? Fantastic. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. All the references are really fun, and that's kind of why you play. You go, oh look, it's the Evangelion Shuber giant duck monster as a thing you need to kill. It's neat. Miko Dene is in there as well, spitting fire. The horrible nightmare. Miko Dene. Apart from that, I got Darkest Dungeon 1. Darkest Dungeon 1, for those that have heard the name, they know the Darkest Dungeon's a really good game. And I was shocked. I was shocked how good it is. And I got the complete edition for £5. It's sort of roguelite-y. You get a team, you hire unique heroes, hero classes, and you go into a dungeon that's very RNG. In terms of will you hit them, will you not? You can kind of edge it in your favor, but sometimes you might just get a bad roll and your team might just be wiped completely. But that's why you can get more heroes to kind of replace them. You don't just lose the run if that happens. It's got a really dark style to it, really kind of gothic comic book, heavy shadow kind of line art style. Very kind of Lovecraftian as well. You fight shamblers and have that kind of nightmarish abomination kind of going on. It's really fun. It's really fun. 2, I hear. Some people like 2 more. Some people like 1 a lot more. And I can see why 1's really good. I plan to get 2, but when it's cheaper in the future. Because I really like this game. It's good. And I have got Armored Core 6, but I've yet to play it. I think I hear good things about it. I got it because it was on a mild sale. So I was like, I'll get it because I don't think Steam will ever have a sale on it. It never did for Sekiro, so I'll just get it. Have you played Armored Cores before, haven't you, Mikey? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, many times.
Yeah. Are you gonna get number 6? The Fires of Rubicon?
Not straight away, but I will definitely get it eventually.
Fires of Rusia? Yeah, okay.
Fires of Rusia, Jesus, that would be a different game.
Armored Core 6, Fires of Rusia. It could happen. I think that's all I've been up to. I rewatched Year of Hell Part 1 and 2. That's good. I almost said to myself, you know what? I'll try Strange New Worlds. And then I watched the trailer for it and went, no, I can't handle the dialogue. It's so fucking atrociously bad. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going
I'm
to do.
going to try it at some point, but it's kind of on a long list down.
Yeah, it's just no. I'd rather not. I've still got the 3 episodes of Earthspark to go through. So I'll probably do that this week. I think just so I can finish Earthspark up and get that done and dusted. Yeah, that's it. That's been my week as far as I can remember. We will be back to normal news Transformers goo next week. We've got bits to talk about, rumors, and a few other things that have actually come out, which is good. So we actually have something to talk about. But thank you, Mikey, for sharing your experience with TF Nation for us.
Very, very happy to.
Yeah. Where can people find you on the internet, Mikey? And do we have any questions? Because I don't know.
I don't, unless you do.
No, I don't have any questions, no. Unless chat wants to throw out some questions while Mikey tells us where he can be found on the interwebs.
Yeah, Irish Paleo on Twitter, or whatever we're fucking calling it these days. And of course, Moonbase 2 is on there as well. And you can email us on the Moonbase 2 podcast, or the Moonbase2 at gmail.com. My brain is shutting down. The Moonbase2 at gmail.com, on Facebook and Libsyn, on Patreon, and all those wonderful places. We love getting messages from people because people ask us interesting questions.
Woo! Nice.
What about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube as Decayed Andy, Rotten Corpse of a Human Being. You can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast YouTube page. If you want to go there, sign up and leave messages and watch live, you can go and do it there. You can watch the show live on Twitter and on YouTube on Sundays at 8 o'clock UK time. You can join in with the chat and you can talk to us directly and ask us questions and all that kind of jazz if you wish, if you want to. You want to zigga her, be my lover? Well, you got to get with Mikey first because he's my friend. You can also find us on the ccbunker.weebly.com. That's another place you can get Moonbase 2 from. Also Facebook, Libsyn, iTunes, and that's it. And we're also on patreon.com/Moonbase2, and you can do $2 kind of donation to help out the show. And if you do $2, if we do special shows, that's where they go there. So yeah, that's it done for the week. I think young Mikey, thank you for coming again.
Happy to be here.
Cool. I don't see any questions. So thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll catch you for Moonbase 2 next week. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye. Yeah.